thank you, GLAAD, for this unexpected but deeply appreciated honor, and thank you for getting me out of Texas's heat for at least 48 hours. On behalf of the community and myself, I humbly accept this award. When blogging began to go mainstream in 2004, I was writing a column for a local monthly LGBTQ newspaper in Louisville, Kentucky. Trans-oriented blogs addressing the issues germane to the trans community existed, but the common thread was that none of those early trans blogs were discussing issues of importance to trans people of color. Neither were those blogs discussing trans issues and the news of the day from our perspective. After prodding by my friends in Louisville and around the country, predominantly led by my homegirl Jordana Lassane, and my own observations that a person of color-oriented blog was necessary for the growth and maturation of our Black trans community ranks, at midnight Eastern Standard Time on January 1st, 2006, the first post went up at TransGriot. It's now been a decade, 6.4 million viewers and counting, and nearly 10,000 posts later. Yeah. And TransGriot is still telling it like it is on behalf of my community from an unapologetically Black perspective and documenting its history. It is probably the oldest continuously published blog, founded, and run by an African-American trans person, and I'm exceedingly proud of that fact. And thanks to organizations like the Transnational Alliance, Trans United Fund, and exhorted individuals who have contributed money and sometimes technology like computers to help me keep TransGriot alive and also operating for the last decade. While what I write at TransGriot is focused on and for Black trans people primarily, over time, those posts over the last 10 years have touched people around the world and pissed off the right wing. Okay. TransGriot is also unique in the fact that it's written by a person in myself who has been a trans human rights advocate for 18 years and counting, and I've had a ringside seat to much of the LGBTQ community's history since 1994. I'm also proud to say it has also grown beyond its original mission to talk about the issues that affect just trans folks in the African American LGBT community, but affect the entire LGBT community, not only here in the United States, but around the world. One of the things that we've learned, and one of the things that my father, my late father who was in radio, taught me, that media matters. The power of a blog, I've learned, to shape events is mighty. It's even more potent when you walk the walk and back your words up with deeds. Many times I've gotten up from behind my keyboard to lobby legislators, say back home in Texas and in my hometown, educating people at panel discussions and community forums around the country, and I engage in public speaking from time to time in order to make that positive change I advocate for via my writing happen. And thank you, GLAAD, for standing up for our human rights and pushing for accurate portrayals of my trans siblings across the media spectrum. Accuracy in media stories about trans people matters. TransGriot has been fortunate enough and shed light and spoken truth to power on the issues that impact trans people of color, such as anti-trans violence, HIV/AIDS, and anti-trans bigotry inside and outside the LGBT community. And once again, I love pissing off the right wing. Post I wrote helped push for passage of the Houston Equal Rights Ordinance in May 2014. and they sounded the alarm when the defense campaign for the hero was going off the rails. Too bad they didn't listen to me at the time. I have urged LGBTQ people to vote, and with this election coming up in 61 days, I urge you to not only register if you're not registered, but to make sure that we hear the word President-elect Hillary Clinton. I've also called out disrespectful reporting on trans people of color. And sadly, over the last decade, I've had to document far too many murders of trans women of color, and many of those trans women are less than 40 years old. Some of my trans griot writing is also designed to build community and pride in being an unapologetically black trans person. But if you're not part of my black trans community, there's stuff in there for you, and a lot of people will take some of those posts that I have written to say and actually apply them to their own lives, and that's all right too. Last month, I wrote an open letter to a young black trans feminine kid who was depressed because she didn't see leaders who looked like her, reflected in the community. I wanted her to see that she too can be a leader in our community, and she has a proud legacy and history of black trans leaders to emulate, like Marsha P. Johnson and countless others. As her mother told me in an email 2 days ago, Trinity told her mom, "Miss Monica showed me my history, now I'm gonna make my own." And I'll be pleased and proud to watch you make that history, Trinity, on our behalf. I'm proud that Trans Griot in its 10 years of existence has led the way in sending the messages that LGBTQ rights are international human rights. We trans people exist. We are part of the diverse mosaic of human life, and we will not be dehumanized or disrespected by friend, foe, frenemy, or my governor. Once again, I thank you for this award, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the next decade holds in store for Trans Griot and the TGLBQ community that I proudly serve. Thank you.